Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here, and after a false start in which I tore this paper and this paper down here and explained a lot, I'm doing my last Calvinball layout. There are, I don't know, 150, 160 rules out there. I'm going to try to get 100 of them on this page. I don't know if I'll make it, but I try it every year. I'm lifting Emma Clark of Mind the Scrap, and where she's got these foil flakes from the mixed media kit, I'm going to have Calvinball points just kind of piled around my photo. And I'm using mostly supplies from previous Mind the Scrap kits, although there's a lot in my kind of what I'm going to call stash tray here. I pulled a lot of stuff from there, and a couple other trays that I've had things that I've used throughout Calvinball, and I haven't been as organized with it this year. But one of the things that we got a couple kits ago was this set of frames, and I'm going to kind of set this large photo like that, and then I'm going to, that gives me a chance to kind of build up some points in here. I need a black and white photo, so I'm actually going to kind of put, well, maybe I'll just squeeze that under there, and then this might be the one that I double mat. So let me mat it. I'm gonna start with this black and white diagonal stripe, because I think that really calls attention to photos. And I'm going to use the reverse of it. Nah, I'm not going to use the reverse of it. I'm going to use this paper, the same black and white that I tore. What I did for the background, I'm using a black background instead of white. I tore 2 strips from the glitter, the Amy Tangerine glitter heart paper, and then I've done a strip of this black and white paper that I'm using now to kind of slide under there. In a minute I'll tell you what kind of paper it is. I just cut the branding strip. It's Dear Lizzie, Stay Colorful, and the paper is Hey Sunshine. So there's that. And it has, on the other side, it has these kind of coral and yellow rainbows. So I've let it kind of, what I'm kind of going for here is an island Fijian vibe, because that's where we were. And I've also got to have room for my journaling, which is quite a lot of journaling. It reads, "You look like a deer caught in the headlights here. Not quite sure about the shirt we just bought at Jack's of Fiji and Naughty, or maybe it was our or my plan to crash one of the reservation-only restaurants on board ship. We ended up having a wonderful time at the Tuscan restaurant, seated with people we'd have liked no matter where we'd met them. We joined them for other meals later in the cruise. We had great fun. on some of the shore excursions with them as well. This was our once-in-a-lifetime dream cruise, the South Pacific, starting in Papeete and ending in Sydney, with a magical stay in a thatched overwater hut in Bora Bora and a day snorkeling and hiking Fafa Island in Tonga. I danced with native Fijian performers while you took photos, and later we toured Raymond Burr's orchid collection in the Garden of the Sleeping Giant. We watched the Super Bowl on a huge screen while swimming in the ship's pool. It was a dream come true, and it all comes back to me when I wear this shirt of yours. So that's the memory. What I may do is fashion a pocket behind it and kind of hide it back there. But let's see how we end up. I may be able to put this, since I'm doing everything on top of the frame, I think, let me try this. I may be able to put tape, foam tape around this way and be able to kind of slide this down behind the photos. And it'll cover up the black. Let's see, where's my foam tape? Here it is. Let's see how that works. If it doesn't work, there's no harm done. I was going to do the foam tape anyway. So let's see. With that scalloped edge, I have to be sure my tape is thin and doesn't show through the scallops. So I'll do that and that. And then do a piece here. I have a, I've gathered from the stuff that was already on my table, I've gathered this bowl full of Calvinball points. I won't make you suffer through watching me put all of them on, but I'll give you enough of a representative sample without going too overboard. Okay, that should work. And I'm just going to place this because it's kind of the centerpiece and everything kind of grows from there. I'm going to do it this way. And let's see how, if I kind of do that there, and I kind of overlap I don't want to have the label covering my face. Let's do that. I'm trying to figure out angles here. That might work that way. Let me kind of scooch that up a bit. There. Now I think I'm ready to do that and that. And this, I'm just gonna put some adhesive directly on the photo. What did I have on my hand there? Now this, I swear it feels like I have something. I thought, well, first of all, let's see if this is gonna work. Yeah. And I can kind of scooch it over to this side. So, and I may use one of the items that I'm supposed to have on here. Like, how about this? This is a Viewmaster. I used this Viewmaster stencil to trace in there. And I'll let that kind of stick up. I need to put something back on here, just a little something to cover that tape, and it kind of reinforces it a bit. Okay, so that slides down in there. There, it has the ViewMaster kind of. I need to scooch it up a little bit so that it shows. Well, you and I will know it's there, right? Okay, now this I want to put in there because it shows all the colors of the Fijian money, and it was John who suggested that I take this photo. So let me see if I can slide it down and let it be like that. Let me push it over here so it's there, and then I can put an embellishment right here. Not sure what I'm gonna use there, but we'll find something, right? And I have to have my title on here. Let me pull that out of the bowl fairly soon. This ribbon is about the same color as that frame, so that will allow me to kind of repeat that. I want to use, it's going to be called Happy Getaway Memories, and I'm going to use these two things. I think his, I wanted a large photo, so I included his pants. His pants are not an important part of the memory. It's kind of about that shirt. And so let's see if I can overlap. If I can put Getaway on there, can you still read Memories? I'm actually going to leave some space in there. So I'm going to go here, kind of right there, and let me get my tweezers. This gives me my multi-font title, and there's also a point for the title being 3 words. So I hate that you're having to sit through this, because when I'm doing detail work like this, I'm not very good at talking through it. That can overlap that, actually. That works out well. Happy Getaway Memories. And then I can tuck things under this. Let's see what we want to do here. I need to put some adhesive there so it'll stick to that photo. And then I can layer some things under there. I've got this cut file, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna cut this bit off the cut file and kind of, I'll have it maybe extending from there, and then I'll overlay something on it. Let's see, we'll do that, Is that what I want to do? I think I decided I'd put it under here. I want to be sure and get that in, and then I can add some small things. One of the things I was going to use is there's a point for a brush, and I've got this little paintbrush, and I thought I'd put that over the heart. And there is a point for something to do with carnival or carousel, and there's a carousel here, and this looks like a ticket, so this might work right there, and then I can layer some other things kind of over it. The one part of the ticket doesn't really reinforce that. Let's see, I've got a tiny puffy butterfly, and I thought maybe this butterfly could overlap that paintbrush. No particular reason, by the way. Let me get a tiny little piece of this. Okay, that works, and it's even on there. Let's see what we have here. This is an airplane, and I could do, and there's a cloud there, so that means I don't have to use the other cloud that I had on hand. I'm going to use some liquid glue because this is chipboard, and I'm putting it on top of a piece of glitter paper, which just in the base case. Okay, so there's my airplane. There's a camping point, and I've got this little, here's my little cloud that I don't have to use. There's a circle point and a cork point. So maybe my cork circle could go right there. And it's still, it kind of tucks under. It still lets the carousel show on the ticket. There's a scooter point, and I have a die cut kind of scooter. I'm going to cut it in half. And maybe use this right there. Actually, why not? Let's see if I can. Let's go here, and I'll overlap the happy with it. And I'll put the adhesive on the part that's kind of up towards the front of the image. And a little bit of a doily here. Let me cut a smaller piece of this doily, because I just don't have the real estate for too much of it to show. Let's kind of insert it here underneath the, this kind, I can put an embellishment there. I'll just do this. Now, mind you, if I were trying to maintain a certain mood or color scheme, I'd be paying a little bit more attention to the placement of some of these things, but I'm not worrying about any of those things. I'm going to put that right there, and it'll hide the edge of that doily that's kind of rough. There we go. I'm going to fussy cut this little camper. I don't mind putting most of these images on here because they're relevant to the idea of travel that is kind of being depicted here. Let's see. I'm going to kind of slide it under there. Okay, now let's see what else we have. I know that I need labels, and I've got labels. Well, actually, there's a label there, so no additional label needed. I get a point for money or for numbers, and there are numbers in the money photo, so I'm going to get rid of that. Before I go too much farther, I want to add some gold color shine splatters, and I'm not gonna worry about where they go, and they're gonna go only on the black. So there. I'll worry about that later. Now, where the splatters are, they're going to have a chance to dry because I'm doing a little fussy cutting of some points here. This is a hummingbird. We get a point for bird and a point for green, and I've already got green elsewhere on there, so this one will be just for the bird point. I don't think I have a bird anywhere else. And I thought I might have the bird. What the heck? Why not have the bird checking out the money? That actually relates to something that happened when, for my 12th birthday, I got a parakeet, a budgie, I guess they're called, and it was about that color, that lime green color. I wanted a purple one, but the one that the person who was willing to give my dad, I'm sorry about that, I bumped into the stand, to give my dad a bird, only had a green one. So a green one it was. And I was a huge Frankie Avalon fan, so I named my budgie Frankie. And Frankie was great. Loved to kind of fly around the house and kind of made himself at home. Especially loved my mother's dressing table because she had a mirror there, and she had lots of interesting things on the dressing table that Frankie could look at, play with, defecate on. You know, let's get gross here. And let's see, do I want to do that? Here, I could hide it there and kind of overlap it there. That works for me. And it kind of fills in this that empty spot. I think I can insert my hexagon here. That seems to work. Anyway, my mom got a Christmas gift from her brother in the form of a check. And she put it on the dressing table pending a trip to the bank to deposit it. And Frankie pretty much took it apart, tore the check apart. It was not negotiable, I guess they say. So she had to tell her brother, by the way, our parakeet ate your check, and can you please write us another one? So that was kind of amusing. So this hummingbird eyeing the money there kind of reminds me of Frankie eating the check. This is just a leaf sprig, and it's a bit of ephemera, so it counts as a die cut. I'm not sure where I should put it, but okay, why don't we put it here and let it kind of come out, and then I'll do my floral element maybe right there. Okay, puffy sticker. I think this may be the only puffy sticker I'm going to have. Let me, okay, that's there. I might just, since we're using a lot of that mint green, I may just use that to tack it down. I need a button, and I probably should do the button later. We need a mermaid, and again, I'm gonna fussy cut some. These are some things that I some free images that I found on the internet without going out and buying supplies that had mermaids or really doing much of a hunt to find a mermaid. I'm gonna do this kind of right there. With the tail sticking up, we know she's a mermaid. I have this, there's a point for ombre, a point for watercolor, and a point for a unicorn. So I have a unicorn image that I had on my word processor. I filled it with a scan of an ombre watercolor that I created a couple years back. And so I'm going to claim all of those points for this unicorn. And I'm not sure where I'm going to put him or if the whole unicorn's going to be there. And I don't want to get into too much detail with these legs and hooves, and I apologize for the sloppy job I'm doing, but I think I may not use the entire, okay, there. That can work. I'm just going to do this and attach it down there and let it overlap there. And I've got a frog. Let me put this star on just I'm going to kind of use this as a shelf for some of these, and I want to start with a fairly big one. These are Heidi Swap stars that came in just a huge number of them, and they're acetate, so there's an acetate point and I get acetate and star point on this. Let me do this dragonfly. Let's see. Where do we want to put the dragonfly? Let's do that, and then I can maybe put some things under there. There is a speech bubble here, a speech bubble stamp, and I could do it here, but I'm stamping on glitter. Do you want to see if that works out? Let's try it. And if it doesn't, I can maybe use a black pen to kind of outline it and let it be fuzzy, and then I can put an embellishment over it. So how's that? Is that a decent idea? Let's try to do that. And I'll put it at a slight angle. Oh, I kind of like it. That's great. The top part of the glitter just kind of picked it up, but you can definitely see it's there. So that's awesome. I like that. Let's see. I need a dog and a dinosaur, and I have those here. I had printed these things in anticipation that we might get some of these points, but as I hadn't used them, either that sheet of things was out of my vision or didn't fit my idea for the page. I haven't been as free and loose, let's say, with Calvinball this time. I'm going to do the dinosaur right here and kind of cover up the part that I cut on this label. Now I've got a sentiment corner rounder. I need to use a corner rounder on something, and I didn't use it on any of my photos. I do have photo corners. Okay, here is a sticker that says Mr. Fantastic. I'm gonna maybe put that right here. As if I put it there, it's too close to the picture of the two of us. And I think I may somewhere in here have something that says you and me, or the two of us, or something like that. So I think that might be better there. Okay, so I've got this dachshund because that was the kind of dog that John had as a pet when he was a little boy. So there were several dogs in the sheet that I printed, but I looked for one that was either like a dog we had owned, or in this case, one that he had owned. So the dachshund can go maybe, where can I put the dachshund? There, we'll go right there. Now, I have an avocado. Of course, we have to have the avocado. I have a rub-on, and I'm not sure how well this rub-on's going to work, but I'm going to try to just get the leaf. And maybe for that, I ought to just cut the leaf out. See, I didn't need that leaf, if I already had this leaf, I didn't need the leaf, that didn't need to be the leaf point. But I need a rub-on point and I needed an ephemera point, and I don't think I have. Well, I guess technically this title would be considered ephemera. Let's do this right there, and then I'll put something else over. Okay, that came out pretty good. Those are fairly old rub-ons. They're part of a stash that I inherited from my former daughter-in-law. They were her mother's stash. Her mother had passed away before I met her. So she didn't want to toss her supplies, and when she found out I was a scrapbooker when we first met, she said, "Oh, now I know what I'm going to do with my mom's supplies." So I usually, when I use any of her mom's supplies, I scrap a picture of one of her daughters, and her daughters are Allie and Ava. And this one does not have either Allie or Ava in it, but it does have Allie and Ava's grandparents. So, the frog, let's go with the frog by the paint there. I've got a snowflake. I had punched, you get a point for a punch, and I had punched a snowflake out of this paper, and then I fussy cut around it. So it's a punch and a snowflake, and I'm going to put it over here by the kind of weather-related items and hope it kind of fades to the background, because it has absolutely nothing to do with Fiji. I'm sure there's never been a snowflake in Fiji, but with climate change, who knows? We could start getting snowflakes in Fiji and sunburns in Alaska. Okay, I need a kangaroo, and since we visited Australia on this trip, on this cruise, and we saw kangaroos on the side of the road, I have some what are, for me, really good pictures. They're not high quality photos. The car was moving as we passed by them, and I used my good DSLR camera, which of course is not nearly as good as my current phone, but at the time it was my high quality camera. I've got this squirrel. We need a kind of woodland sorts of things. I'm going to put the squirrel over here by the star, and we'll kind of start moving some of the embellishing down there. So, what do you think? Have any of you played Calvinball? Were you overwhelmed by it? I will let you in on a little secret. The first few layouts I made, I tallied up the scores, and I entered the points in the leaderboard on the Circle website. And then I tallied the scores but didn't enter them and thought I would, and then I kind of stopped tallying the scores. And my thought in that was that I was in it kind of for the fun of using all the things, and I wasn't in it. I knew that this year I didn't have the cycles or the, I don't know, what am I going to say? Emotional stability, shall we say, to maintain the same pace that I have maintained in previous years. So I just kind of stayed back and kept creating with Calvinball in mind, and that was fun enough. This is we get a point for a Project Life card. I love this. It's not the destination that counts, it's the journey. But I'm going to cut this little seal out, and that'll get me the Project Life card, or the cut apart card point. And this says travel with us. And I wish us were traveling so that you could do that. Let's see, where can I put that? Travel with us. How about there? And see, I wouldn't have needed the airplane if I hadn't already put it on. So I'm going to go ahead and put it there. And kind of let it hide. There is a gingham or plaid point and a torn paper point. So I'm going to tear this gingham, and I'm going to kind of find some place to stick it. It's crepe paper sweater weather branding strip. Let's see. I'm going to put it under the photo here. There we go. And there's a piece of wood grain paper in here that I'm going to use kind of the same way. Let's see. I'm going to put it kind of sticking out of this dip in the paper here. There we go. And then I'll add something there. I have a geotag that needs to go on here. Where do I want the geotag? I'm gonna just use it. Maybe, okay, that, I need to be sure that this can still be pulled out. It can. Let me just put it right here by the sun. Don't like it there at all. I'm going to use the other geotag, which is a stripe, and I'm going to overlap there. And it's by the word getaway, and it kind of implies travel. There's a something tropical point, and I've got this, it's a piece of packaging from Box of Crayons by Chamel, and I love it. And it's tropical. Then I wouldn't have needed the bird. I wouldn't have needed this bird because I have this. I don't need flowers or leaves either because they're in there. I'm going to have it overlapping the, let's see if I can do that. There we go. And it kind of obscures the avocado, but you can still see him peeking through. I have this butterfly, which is something I colored. I'm going to let this be my something I colored. This is too big. I liked it because it picks up on the colors in his shirt, but I'm not going to use it. I've got these for something small. There's, I need a balloon, and it seems like the balloon could go there. I thought I needed a bear, but I have the squirrel instead, so I don't need that. I need a cat. And I have a piece of ephemera with a cat, with two cats actually, but I think I may, and I could use this tiger for my cat. Maybe the tiger could go there, or I think I'm going to do this little gray cat here. I need a boat. Okay, let's have the boat be right here, and I'm going to put that on, my something tropical was going to be this, which says collect memories, but I used my tropical bird, my box of crayons instead. So this is going to go here, and it'll kind of bridge that gap between the star and this piece of wood grain. Now let me cut out this little cat. And if I place it just right, I can probably use the other one. But if it bounces around my desk for long enough, it may just go. Okay, so let's do we want the cat on the boat? Why not? What the hell? Okay, I need a banner. Do I have, I think I have some little tiny banners here. There's XO and XO. I'm gonna put the XO here. Let me move it over. Didn't leave room for my X. And they're not straight. So what am I trying to line them up with? Let me line them up with that line, and then I can get this one parallel to that. Okay, still not ideal, but it works. So I don't need this larger banner. There's a vellum requirement, and I have this kind of piece of a Maggie Holmes vellum flower, and if I hide it, it won't look too out of place. Let's kind of hide it back here behind the kangaroo. There we go. You can see there's something there, and you can kind of see through it, so you know it's vellum. There are books, and I'm going to call these school books. There's a book point and a school point. So if I call these school school books, I will get both of those points. And books are appropriate because this was a cruise with lots of cruising time, lots of at sea time. And during that at sea time, we sat on the deck and read books, lots of books, and we kind of hit the DVD library as well. Okay, there's a foil point, so I'm going to use one of these foil hearts, and I'm going to do it in conjunction with here, this guy. There we go. There's a point for a B. I've got a camera already. There's a camera on here, so I don't need that. I don't need the circle because I already have that. There's a fruit point. And I'm going to cut out a tiny strawberry from this branding strip. I had a pineapple somewhere, but it wasn't on my desk, so I didn't use it. So where do I put the pineapple? I'm going to put it over here by the books. And maybe to imply we got a strawberry smoothie to drink while we were reading books. There's a bow, and I've got this gold bow. Where do I want this bow? Would it go right there above the X and O? It kind of hides the kangaroo. Let's put it here. No. Where does it want to go? If you were this bow, where would you want to go? How about maybe right here? I'm gonna put it there, and if I change my mind, I'll move it. Okay, I've got these photo corners. They're just, I took a scrap and cut some triangles from them and made my own photo corners. And there's only one exposed corner there, and I could put one right there and have the plural photo corners. Okay, that works. What was this? This was a piece of, technically it was going to be a piece of, well, it is ephemera, but it was going to be, it's meant to be a, like a souvenir from the trip. And I'm going to put it up here because it's kind of ledger papery. Let's do it this way. And I'll kind of slide it down in there, and I'll use it as a platform for something else. It's like a part of a receipt from a restaurant. Let's see. I've got some reference to the beach. So I've got this sun, sand, and sea, and that's kind of what we were there for on this trip. I'm gonna put it right here in this empty part of that photo. Oh, let's see what else we have. You know, I think I'm gonna stop this now. There's a brad requirement and a Christmas requirement. And this is a Christmas brad, and you just really can't see it. It matches that color of heart perfectly. But just I'm going to claim the Christmas point and the brad point. There's a poinsettia on it, and you can't really tell because it's kind of color on color, tone on tone, I guess you call that. And I'm just going to kind of stick that on there. And then I'll start adding like the buttons, or a button, because I really don't want to clutter it up too much. I need a bee. I know you were looking forward to me ending this, but what I'm left with are fairly small things now, and I don't want to, I kind of want you to see where you can fill in small things when you've done the larger things in a layout that's going to be this heavy with embellishments. And I'm going to put the bee kind of here on the balloon, not for any particular reason. Let's see what else we have left in here. I need a sequin. Oh, I need a chicken. I need some farm animal, and this is a nod to Alice. Alice raises chickens, and so I'm putting a chicken maybe right here on the frame. I'm gonna do one sequin and one enamel dot. Let's see what else. This is washi tape. I need a little strip of washi tape. And I have no idea how many points I've put on here so far, but it's gotta be a lot because some of them count for more than one. Let me do that. Let me add this washi tape. It has the, I've pulled out the word memory on it. And if I put it over here by the camera, it kind of looks like it was stamped on there. I don't need the tiger. This is a little tag. I have these are all things I'm going to add off camera. This is a gnome. This is an Easter bunny. Arrow. I will find a place to use that arrow. A house. A coffee cup. Maybe a coffee cup might work, like right there. Let's see. There's a clock. Oh, this was my fruit, but I fussy cut a strawberry, so I'm not gonna need that. A cake, and this is a cupcake, so I'm thinking that counts. This is there's a grid paper behind it, and I think I was going to use that as a label. This is acetate, but I've already used acetate in this star, so I don't need to use that. And I need a tree, and I was going to put this tree near the house. And I need something holographic, so let me, and I need sunglasses. So let me do these holographic sunglasses right here by the squirrel. And where's my popsicle stick? Okay, let's see if this works. I had trouble the last time I tried to use these. They didn't come off on the paper, but I think it might have been the paper underneath. Okay, it's not completely rubbed off, but I need rub-ons, I need sunglasses, and I need holographic. So this we'll do all three. Let's see what part's not coming off. This part right here. So I'm going to kind of etch that out a little harder. And I'm going to, with most rub-ons, I kind of let it be imperfect. Wow, this is going to be so imperfect. But you know, it's still distinguishable as sunglasses. And it's because it's on the black that it doesn't really show up that much. So I'm going to use the rest of these things. I'm going to add some Nuvo drops, and then I'm going to call it quits, and I will count up the points, and I'll have that listed in the video description box. Now I have another video to film for Challenge Accepted, my series with Shannon Allor that I'm doing for tomorrow, and I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit quicker. Okay, one of the things I'm going to do, I need metal, and I need a staple, and I need ribbon, and I need a tag. So I've cut this little tag out of some scrap paper. I'm going to staple the ribbon to it and find a place to put that, maybe right there. And that's a tag, staple, metal ribbon. That's 4 points right there. Okay, I hope Emma doesn't freak out too much when she sees what I've done as I'm lifting her. Okay, the clock, I think, can go, you know, I said I wasn't going to make you watch me put all the points on, but it's kind of fun now as I'm kind of closing it all down. You and I will know there's a clock under there, and everyone will wonder why there's a cupcake on top of the clock, and you'll know that it's because that part of the stamp didn't come out right. This is a little purple bunny, or bonnet, as John would say. And this is a John page. And I want to thank you all. I've done quite a few videos this month, quite a few more than I thought I'd be able to get through. And I know some of them have been weepy, and it kind of depends on the story that I'm telling. And I really appreciate all of those, all of my friends who have kind of reached out and let me know that they were thinking of me as I go through this. And I'm very happy to also find out that there are not many of you who think it's weird. And so as many of you have told me, everyone grieves in their own way. And John I'm sure would have wanted me to keep on scrapping, and I'm sure he knew that a lot of that scrapping would be about him and about us and our life together. And we had a good one. We had a good run while it lasted. And so I appreciate your allowing me to indulge myself in, you know, I have too many things that are cut with this orientation. Let's see, do I want this? Where do I want this? I don't really want it. how about we pretend that maybe what you and I were doing here in this picture was we were on our way to coffee. We were actually at Raymond Burr's, and we were on our way, or we actually had drinks in front of us, and they weren't coffee. They were some kind of tropical delight that was made with fruit from the gardens there. The gardens, it's the garden of the sleeping giant, and it's it's where Raymond Burr lived in Fiji part-time, and he collected orchids, and in his will he gave them to the gardens there. So let me put a house here behind the ship, implying, I don't know, shore excursion maybe. And we won't have that much of the house showing. And I'm going to put a little bit of foam behind the tree so that there's some dimension, and there's going to be a tree there, and certainly we saw lots of trees on that trip. The arrow is, I'm going to cut part of it off, and I'm going to fussy cut around it, and it's the outline of an arrow from Cocoa Vanilla Boys Rule. Let's see where I want to put it. I'm gonna put it, you know, it belongs here again. Oh, let's do this. Put it there and have it pointing to the bee and the balloon and the airplane. I already have a label, so I don't need this one. And the outline, the pattern on the frame is not a grid, but it's a ledger. So if you look at it in the large aggregate, it kind of amounts to a grid. And a ledger paper is a lot more appropriate to John. I think I've told the story that our first Christmas we were exchanging gift ideas, and what he said he wanted was a good leather-bound ledger book. oh, how romantic. You know, what a romantic guy. And as it turns out, you know, I never did get, well, I think I did get him a ledger book. I say I never did, but I think I actually did. I am now kind of the one in charge of finances, and I was kind of going through, I have a few like tablets, sort of notebook kinds of things, even like a steno book, I guess you'd say, and it's not quite as and I know you should say, you're out there saying, use a spreadsheet, for God's sake. Oh, I almost forgot that I need a rainbow. So I'm going to put the rainbow there on some foam tape. And foam tape is a point, and so I'm using foam tape all over the place. It's not, there's still only one point for it. I think I'm going to put this rainbow, instead of over there by the sun, I think I'm going to do it here, because this little area right here is kind of bothering me on this hexagon. Okay, I think I'm done, guys. Oh, no. Nouveau drops. Let's do some Nouveau drops. I'm going to do some Nouveau drops kind of in and around these gold, and this is not the typical way you would use Nouveau drops. I'm actually tapping them out to just add a kind of a copper dot the same size as the splatters. So it kind of looks like copper and gold splatters. And I think I'm done. And I know this was a really horribly long video, but it's my master Calvinball page, and I just kind of wanted to share it with you. So feel free to fast forward through it and not spend that much time on it. But it was fun. I've got my my journaling that does still, whoops, my bunny is restricting that. Okay, so I'll let the bunny be part of it. Okay, so there we go. This was fun, and it's to me, it's appropriate for this page to be fun because it's, you know, like I say, it's happy getaway memories. It's a photo of John as we were getting ready to go out to eat, and he wasn't sure about wearing that shirt, and I actually wear that shirt now. It's a very nice shirt, and all of these memories come back to me every time I wear it. So, and that's in the journaling there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next year for Calvinball, and maybe next year I'll actually get competitive about it again. Bye.